Hi guys, we are here. We are recording because I have a special guest, and this is my brother from another mother. Smiley Harris has agreed to grace us with his presence. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we have been setting up off camera this interview. I just told this man, let me go ahead and start recording before I lose my religion because he's difficult. I'm just teasing, but the thing is, everybody wants to tell their story, and everybody wants to tell their story, the long story. But I was trying to explain to Smiley that we're gonna stick to a specific structure so that we can get through this. Otherwise, we'll be here
forever. So what happened? I lost you.
It's going to be contained in a 20-minute session, right? So I'll unpack it for you on camera again so that everyone who's watching is my witness, because you are a talker, which is greatly appreciated at another time. Okay, so the structure is, talk about what, huh?
I'll keep it short.
Talk about, number one, talk about what happened, what started the issue or what brought it to your attention. Number two, talk about what you're doing about it and how did you come, like if you had a specific remedy or solution that you tried, talk about why you tried that. And number three, talk about where you are now. It might not be concluded, and that's fine. Because as I was telling you off camera, so that I can tell the world now on camera, we're not here, these interviews are not here to preach or to teach. We are not in any position of authority to be preaching or teaching anybody anything. We can't tell grown folks what to do. That's not what we're doing. What we're doing is we're talking about our story. I'm trying to humanize the stories because part of it is we have been dehumanized, by the wrongdoers. And they're just treating us like a number. But as I was explaining to you before, because you are one of them people that didn't want to tell your story until it was completed and concluded to your satisfaction. But I reminded you, which is what got you here today, I reminded you that everybody's story doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be just right. It doesn't have to look a certain way. And it doesn't even have to be concluded, because your story can be such an amazing blessing to somebody else who is just not as further along in the game as you are.
Right.
You over here, but you thinking that you need to be over here further along. You need to be at step 75, 100. But you at step 50. Well, the people that are at step 1 through, or 0 really, through 49 are super duper impressed with the fact that you at 50. So, and who did I use it? Oh yeah, Michael Jordan and Thomas Edison. Let me tell you, when I heard Michael Jordan's story, I saw it on a YouTube video. I said, wow, I did not know that. See, everybody sees the success and want to congratulate after. But Michael Jordan's story is an amazing testament of not quitting and just being proud. And do you think he is not proud of all the failures? He failed more times at shooting. I'm not a sports fan, so what do you call the
Free throw?
They call it the what? The free throw?
The free throw. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I think I know that one. I'm talking about the one where it's way far. I think it's a three-pointer. Is
That's
that
a 3-point shot. Yeah, that's a 3-point shot.
It sounds so vague to me that I'm not even sure. Okay, yeah, the 3-point shot. He said he made 3-point shots that he was kicked off of a basketball. Listen, I don't know the man's story. I just know the fact that he didn't let those failures define him. And he went on to become a basketball phenom, a legend in his own right. Okay? And same thing with Thomas Edison. The man tried 1,000 times and failed 1,000 times. And we know that, but we don't really talk about the failures. We know his story, but do you think he's running around like, oh man, woe was me, I failed 1,000 times? No, he's super proud that he tried, that he failed 1,000 times, but he succeeded, and that one success was the greatest success in his life, in his history, or one of them, right? And so he talked about it. He shared his failures, and it's all about failing forward. You just have to be willing to, don't be, what you shame of. None of us is perfect. None of us. No, not one human being on the face of the earth in the history of mankind. None of us are perfect. I do not expect perfection. I don't want perfection expected of me. So I thank you for being here, but I'm frustrated still at the same time, not at you, but just in general, because that is the overwhelming sentiment. Like, I didn't finish this and I didn't finish that. And, I don't have a word to say because, I'm not done. Well, I'm not done with a whole lot of stuff, but I'm out here and putting the pieces together because I can't tell you how many times I was blessed just by sharing the little piece that I had, and people just reached out like, here, you might need this. Here, I don't know if it's gonna help, but you might need this. And we put it, you see what I'm saying? That just happened to us off camera too. With the land patent thing. That just happened to us. I have pieces to the puzzle. You have pieces to the puzzle. If we didn't open our mouth, we would have never known. We would have never known what each have. But I just want to just say, I might be sounding like I'm ranting and raving like a lunatic, but it's not. It's just you just don't know the burden that I bear with people with brilliant minds, but they don't even see their own brilliance. They don't even realize how beautiful their ideas are that could, propel us forward. Oh my gosh, I received documents, I received emails, I received phone calls. I receive a lot from individual people, and then they want to turn around and provide this stuff, and then I give them the positive feedback that is well warranted. Like, wow, I'm amazed. Like, I learned something new from you. And but then they want to just keep it private and keep it under wrap. I'm not saying expose all of your this, that, and the next, like in the private stuff, like your private data, but let's just talk about it even in general terms. You never know who we might be able to build a team with, for different special projects, and so woo, Lord, let me just release. Let me woosah. Let me woosah. Listen, I'm very passionate about this movement. I'm very passionate about freedom, and I want to awaken as many people as possible. But I'm telling you, I can't do this by myself, and everybody coming at me individually. Well, if you want, I'm gonna just go ahead and make it a whole new rule that if you want my individual time and attention, well, you gotta put forth to the community first.
Right.
You gotta do an interview. You gotta do an interview first, and that's that's just the way the cookie gonna crumble from now on. I'm just telling you. It's you sitting up here. I am just exasperated by just the level of brilliance that comes across my desk. But then, you know what it is? You know what it is, Smiley? It's lack of confidence. That's what it is. People just aren't confident in themselves or in what their ideas are. They don't see how brilliant people, beautiful people. Let me talk to the camera. You're beautiful. You're brilliant. Bring it out. Somebody's gonna be blessed by your story, because you are not who you are. Lord, I'm getting confused. Who you are now is not who you used to be in the beginning of the problem.
Yeah.
You have evolved. You are not the same man and you are not the same woman, honey. I'm telling y'all are beautiful. Y'all just don't see what I see, but you're beautiful. And I just want that beauty to be shared. So you are already a hero to me if you got up in the morning and you are out here trying, because some people don't even do that. Some people
they don't.
Oh, all right, well, they took my house, I'm done. No, people out here trying and stopping foreclosures. And I'm talking about, I have received at least 25 emails. I probably have a miscount of that. Woefully underestimation of 25, but at least 25 emails of people who have stopped their foreclosure. Okay? Or
Right.
prolonged it long enough for them to get themselves together. I'm talking people who delayed it by years or months and things like that. They tried things. These are people, I don't know what, they're drawn to me because they want to help me privately, but they don't realize how brilliant they are. They could add to the story.
Right.
Let's talk about it, because I promise you, not one of them were the same as the other. People try so many different things because different things work in different places.
Yeah. No
That's
question about that.
Huh?
I say there's no question about that, because each state has its own structure.
Each state and each court even. Each court has its own structure. So that's why trying different things and sharing different things with each other can do nothing but elevate us as a nation. So just because you held them off for a year and then my case got escalated, but so what? I tried and I had a small victory.
Right.
I postponed the foreclosure for 30 days, and this is with zero legal knowledge. Put together a choppy, messy motion. It was my very first motion that I ever did, and it actually worked. I couldn't believe I was shocked. The lawyer that told me it wasn't gonna work, he was shocked. And so, the point is, trying and not giving up is its own reward, right? Oh my gosh, I'm trying to tell you, people are beautiful, people are brilliant, and they don't even realize it. I met a woman, she emailed me, and then we eventually was talking on the phone. She held off foreclosure for 6 years. Like, what? She mad because they eventually did still foreclose on her, but my goodness, you talking about 6 years.
I have a question. Has anyone tried doing a bill of exchange to pay off their foreclosure?
A lot of people are trying. This is what I'm trying to tell you, Smiley.
Find whatever they can.
Yeah, people, they're learning and they're taking it back, back to the planning stage, and then they go back and they try again. They try again and they try. So,
But I can say that, okay, I've not been in the foreclosure, but I did pay off the tax lien on a piece of property using the bill of exchange. So I understand that it's the same process.
Well, is that okay? So, as I was explaining to you, do you want to unpack that as your story? Because we could record another story, but we're not going to.
We're talking about foreclosure, so I don't mind addressing it.
Okay.
But the other person's property was being tax liened by the county, and they already default.
Let me raise my hand because you have to set it up. Set it up. Like, what happened? How did it begin? Remember?
Well, basically, I was looking for property. I mean, I'm challenged, so I don't even know the right way to say it, but I need a house. So I was looking for property. So I acquired the tax rolls of Lake County, and perusing the tax rolls, I saw the property. So I went down to the county tax collector's office.
Okay.
I acquired the tax coupon for that particular APN number. I saw the value. I turned it into a bill of exchange, which is basically I created the money order at the bottom. I processed it, accepted for value using the exemption number, 45-degree angle, all of that. I sent in basically the original to the IRS commissioner and a copy to the Lake County tax collector. I gave them the time needed. I ended up having to submit a letter of dishonor, a notice of dishonor, because the tax collector didn't want to pay in the time required. Long story short, they paid it. In California, you don't receive anything in that circumstance. Only whatever records you have give you claim on the property. However, I learned that if I followed through with the process, I would have been taking the property from the homeowner, and I did not want to do that. So even though I learned how to perfect my claim against the property, which is basically I sent the homeowner notice demand, letting them know, hey, we paid your taxes, this is the value, this is what you owe us, this is how much time you have, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We eventually decided we wanted to try to get a lease on the property for the value and not claim it outright, but the homeowner decided not to deal with us at all. So right now it's in limbo because we don't want to take them to court on our perfected claim. Okay, but if we had, then we would take the notice of demand in the court, say, hey, we gave them a chance to pay, they didn't pay, so give us the property or give us an abstract for the value, and then we can go down to the county recorder to record the abstract and then take over the property. I did not want to do that, so I did not do that. I did learn how to do that. So I'm knowing that a person who's going through foreclosure can do that because they are the owner already. All they will be doing is giving the mortgage company a bill of exchange for the value and then sending the mortgage company to the federal window to get their funds. And as long as they have the authority of a secured party creditor, they can do this. I don't know if they have to be the state citizen to do this, but I'm knowing that if they are the secured party creditor, they can do that.
Remember to just keep it to your personal experiences, you know what I'm saying? So that you know, we're not out here
because I'm not preaching.
Proselytizing, you know, the truth.
Right. So I'm not preaching. So what I did.
Definitely a great experience, though. A great experience because it taught you and it made you grow.
Yes.
In knowledge and in experience. And so that was a really good baptismal into.
Yes. It led me down the path as well. You know, it made me, it's like it opened the door. So now I'm more aware of the county recorder's office. I'm more aware of some of the things that I can do there. you know, versus before I wasn't trying to deal with them at all. You know, I was like, stay out of my life, stay out of my face. You know, but now it's like, okay, you guys see me and you smile when I come in, and now I can smile because I'm knowing now I'm dealing with you guys from a different level. You know.
And so, just in having that that level of interaction with them, now you know how some of them are gonna deal with you, and now you know how to kind of move. See, I'm telling you, it's nothing better than experience, going in and just taking that action, and you know, taking the bull by the horns and just trying it. Even if you fall flat on your face, at least now you know what will work from what is not going to work. That's all I'm saying here. That's all. You know, these videos are here to inspire and encourage people to take action. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. Everything is figure outable. You don't have to have it all figured out. It's figure outable. Okay? Right. I'm just out here inventing words.
Yeah, but the pressure is that when you're in a situation and you have them chewing at your heels or knocking on your door or what have you, you don't want to take action unless it's the correct action. You know, otherwise
it's stressful. I know.
Yeah.
And a lot of I know.
Yeah. So a lot of the situations I found myself in, I had to just jump out the window simply because I was by myself. I don't have the family to, you know, be concerned about, or the offspring or anything like that. So every time I was in a do or die situation, I would just man up and jump out the window. You know, sometimes I landed on my feet. Sometimes I'd fall, but I was always able to get back up, recognize, okay, I landed wrong. You know what I'm saying? If I'd landed like this, I would have been good. You know, and I'll go right back up the window and jump out again to land properly, just to make sure, see, that's right, and then just move forward again. You know, it made me, circumstances made me less hesitant. But as I said, I'm by myself. So I don't have to worry about my mate, you know, how it will affect her, because there were times when I was in relationships and I lost them simply because the mate, the individual I was with, couldn't handle the trials and tribulations I was going through. So I'm by myself now simply because I've already learned that most people, when you're going through stress and they can't process it, they're just going to have to get rid of you because they can't process the stress. They don't know how to deal with it. You know, and I was in a relationship for 6 years that ended because I went to jail 3 times. And it wasn't why I went to jail, because it was driving traffic ticket, okay? Or, you know, driving under suspended license, which I was fighting. But it was more that I kept going, that I wouldn't just stop and do what I was told. You know, why you keep making a problem? Why are you fighting them? Why don't you just do what they tell you? Just go get a license. Why am I like? And couldn't understand. So we had to part ways, and so from that, you know, there's been none. You know, but I acknowledge that because I went through those trials and tribulations, I've learned more. I'm stronger. So in a relationship or not in one, I've received my remedy. You know what I'm saying? I'm knowing I'm on the right path. So I have to acknowledge that this path isn't for everyone, because not everyone will be able to process the stress. And I'm aware of a couple who and I'm aware of a couple. I tried to help them, did help them, but I was able to help him, but not her. See, and he was ready to deal with it, but because she couldn't deal with the stress, she pulled him out of it. Okay, so that they both ended up in the soup because she wasn't strong enough to deal with it, and he wasn't strong enough to help her be strong enough. So they both got out of it. You know, but I realized that's the reality. You know, that's why a lot of people don't step up, you know, because they have, I got child support, or I got to worry about my kids in school, or I don't have a babysitter, or I might lose my job, or any of these concerns, you know, make them say, okay, let me pause, Is it really worth it? I want my freedom, but I don't have freedom if I don't have a job. You know, and that's how their minds equated instead of recognizing, wait a minute, if you have your freedom, you can work for yourself. You know, you just have to have the confidence in what you're doing so that when you're on the path, you're handling your business. You're not concerned with their program and how they see it. You're looking at how you know you're supposed to do it and how you know you're supposed to structure it. So regardless of them, you're still good, regardless. And from what I'm doing, that's why I want my land away from. That's why I want my independence, because I'm knowing if I've got the technology, I don't have to worry about them falling over, you know, their cities going to waste or whatever. I've got my own land, I've got my own food, I've got my own water, I'm generating my own electricity. What do I need to worry about them for?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Exactly. And if I'm living, and if I've created a community where we got like-minded people, where we all want to be off the grid, it ain't a matter of Bill doesn't have the money, but he knows he's an electrician. Okay, well then, Bill, come on in. Your electrician skill makes you worthy to be in the community because you have a skill. Oh, Betty knows how to cook and sew and tatting and all that kind of, man, you can teach tatting. Man, bring the doilies back and the lace back and all of that back. So instead of being done by a machine, now you got people doing it in your glass for years like you used to. Okay?
Yeah. Right. Okay, you on a roll here, so I didn't want to interrupt you.
But that's how it's, okay? My thing is I want to mess up theirs. What they're trying to do is enslave everyone. They're taking away all the skills. They're making everything machine-made. They're making it so that if you're not going to join their corporation or some level or other, your ass out. That's how they're making it. The only way you could survive is if you have a skill and an employer that values your skill. But your skill has to be a carpenter, an electrician, a mechanic, a machinist, an engineer. All of those are skills, but society's devaluing them every single day because they got a computer program that can do this, or there's a machine that can do this, but the individual is being phased out. But if you're in a community...
So let's bring it back to...
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Off the tangent.
I feel the passion. Society is broken, and we have the fix, and we're working on it, right? We're going to work on that.
But see, you have to work on yourself first. If you can work on yourself, make yourself a stronger individual, a more responsible, a more self-sufficient individual, society fixes itself. So why? Because it's no more.
Let's bring it back to you.
Okay.
And give a personal story about why you are. You could even talk about, you don't even have to talk about an individual process or individual case or individual issue or matter. You could talk about just in general, but make it about you.
Okay. Well, basically, I'm a student of law. I've been in law since 1990. And basically, I got into law because I was on the dark side. The law kept hitting me in my...
What do you mean by dark side? You've said that.
The law...
I'm meaning to ask you.
When I was younger, I was the problem. I was the problem child. I was the proverbial black sheep of the family. I was the reason people walked to the other side of the street. Simply put.
Because why?
Because of the choices that I made. I made myself a problem. I made myself a reason for established society to say, hey, we don't want you here.
You mean they labeled you as a juvenile delinquent?
No, I was the juvenile delinquent. I was the young man who from age 12 to age 16 was regulated from a normal school life to I went to school Monday through Friday and then spent weekends in juvenile hall. I was the young man who at age 18 was classified as an habitual criminal simply because I had made a career of certain behavior, certain unacceptable behavior. I was the young man that at age 30 was considered to have spent over half his life incarcerated simply because I had chose not to, do like everybody else. So I was from the dark side. I was not a rapist. I was not a murderer. I was not majority of things. I was a thief. And at that time, I was doing cat burglaries. And at that time, society considered that classification of crime to be extremely dangerous, not only because, not to the perpetrator, but also to the individuals involved. So at age 18, they had classified me as an habitual criminal because they figured that I had committed over 400 cat burglaries. Meaning I was burglarizing occupied dwellings. Every burglary I did, someone was home. And I knew they were home, and my intent was for them to be home. But my skill, which is why this scared them, my skill level was such that none of them knew I was there. I was able to go in, do what I needed to do, well, what I wanted to do anyway, and then leave without them being the wiser.
Wow.
That's why I was classified the way I was. Because they saw that they're
That was some James Bond stuff you were doing.
I was in the James Bond. I'm still in the James Bond. Mm-hmm. It's just that now I know who my enemy is. Now I know that my skill set has a better use. So I'm using it better. I'm proud of myself because I've got 25 years, no victims. That includes no one being able to say that I've lied to them, stolen from them, or in any other manner tried to deprive them of something that they didn't freely give to me.
Right. Those days are long gone. The cat burglary days. Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Smiley,
that's why I was
very
the land.
Journey.
But that's why I was showing you the land, because that's actually something tangible that I have, that I've accomplished, considering where I came from.
Yeah, you've come a long way, and I commend you for that.
Yes. So I can also tell you I have the certificate of rehabilitation, which I got from this county, and it was necessary.
You don't need anything from anyone. You don't need a certificate to say that you are who you are.
No, but you do, because the purpose of the certificate is to establish that you've gone a certain period of time without engaging in the same behavior or different behavior, in which case they acknowledge that, okay, to all intents and purposes, you are. We're still going to watch you, but we're going to give you this piece of paper so that the stuff that you did yesterday, okay, we're going to pretend that didn't happen, and we're going to give you a fresh start.
Gotcha.
Okay?
All right.
Now, that was necessary. Because only by getting the certificate of rehabilitation can you reestablish your political rights.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
So once I got the certificate, I made myself a state citizen because I then had the right to do so. And then I began my path along that line, making them acknowledge me as the state citizen, which led me to become a pure party creditor, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, okay. You said a mouthful. So, one of the things that you could, which I appreciate the, you gave us, a timeline of events that I didn't even see coming. I'm still stuck on the cat burglary thing because I'm like, what? I remember hearing stories about cat burglars.
I was in the newspaper. I was famous when I was 18.
Oh, you were in the news too?
Yes, I was. I was famous, or infamous. But it was that gave me the motivation to change, because I stood in front of a judge, and at the time the judge told me, "All you are is you're just a thief, Mr. Harris. That's all you are."
What?
And
You can't say that.
okay, that's what he told me, and it's because he told me that my ego said, "What? You MO? That ain't all I am. Let me show you." So I told him.
It was the spark. It was the spark for change.
Yeah.
Although a judge is supposed to remain impartial, he shouldn't have said that.
But see, my experience in court is I'm always dealing with them.
Yes.
When I mean them, I mean you can. If you look at the people who hung my ancestors from a tree as an ornament, you know, those people who did that, to me, they are always they, because they have the mentality that they have the authority to do this. That for whatever reason, I'm not human, or I'm less than, or whatever the reason. But to me, they are always they, because they set themselves up. Every time I went to court, I dealt with they. Every time. I had a case where the only eyewitness said it wasn't me. Said it wasn't me. Twice. Said it wasn't me. I still served 11 years, 6 months for the case. Okay? Said it wasn't me.
Wow.
So I've always dealt with they. So my motivation has always been to secure myself so that they can't do me anymore.
Yes.
And I've been living in Lake County where, hey, they've been running the county, period.
Lake
so
County, California. Just for people who don't know where Lake County is.
So my experiences with this county have strengthened me tremendously, because every time they knocked me down, I got back up and I came back at them more correct. So that now I don't have to worry about them anymore. They worry about me now. Okay? Such as the change in our relationships. Okay?
Yeah, you have empowered yourself through learning how to navigate the legal system.
Yes. Yes, but it's not the legal system per se, because it's more simply the law. Okay?
Yes.
Because the law says, so if you're able, I have to digress for a minute. Most people don't understand that there's two citizenships in this country. There's the U.S. citizen and there's the state citizen. Okay. The U.S. citizen is going to always get the short end of the stick. If you're the state citizen, on the other hand, you can use the law to acquire your protections. And that's all I did. I made them understand that I'm a state citizen, that these laws right here apply to me, that they protect me, and that they prevent them from doing these things. So they had to acknowledge in my last case, okay, we messed up. Okay? And that's all I needed, because then it sends the message out in Lake County, hey, he knows now.
Do you want to know what type of case that was? What type of scenario?
It was just driving under suspended license.
Okay.
And basically, I already beat driving under suspended license in this county.
So
okay, there's a case. Yes, there's a case with my name on it in this county saying I don't need no stinking driver's license. So under existing law, that makes any other subsequent challenge illegal. It's called a bar under res judicata. Okay, so I presented the law to them. Hey, this new case for driving under suspended license is barred under the principles of res judicata. Here's the law. Here's the case that says that I don't need a stinking driver's license. They play past it every time.
Say that phrase slower, because people are going to spam the heck out of the YouTube. If you say that slower, so people could write it down.
Which phrase? Res judicata?
Yeah. I couldn't even remember. You said it rattled it off so fast.
Yes, it's barred under the principles of res judicata, which is basically double jeopardy.
Yes.
And it's RESJUDICATA, res judicata. And it's basically saying that if you were brought to court for a charge and you beat that, loosely translated, and you beat that charge, they cannot bring the same charge against you again.
Yeah, like you said, it's double jeopardy.
Yes. Now, in this situation, it's bigger because the charge was driving without a license. That was the original charge.
Okay.
And I beat that charge. So if I'm able to prove that you can't convict me for driving without a license, how can you charge me for driving on a suspended license when I don't need one? Okay?
But
that's the situation. That's the situation they put themselves in. And I wasn't able to show that they were, being crooked until this last case.
Okay.
I had to learn, and I knew about the res judicata. I was presenting the argument. They just kept ignoring it. Okay, so I got convicted 5 times for driving under suspended license before this last case makes the 5th conviction. And I had to go through those to learn how to do the paperwork correctly so that whether they were going to ignore it or not, when it came down to review of the case in the next court, then the next court would have to say, okay, this case is bogus. We don't care what you guys say. This is garbage. And that's what I did this time. That's why when I filed the paperwork that I did, they had to come back saying, okay, we messed up. They didn't say we were sorry. They just said, okay, we acknowledge we messed up. See, and that's where I needed to get to, because if I did that in this state, it can be done in any state. In any state. The paperwork could be a little different, but it can be done in any state. And I'm knowing that people require that, really.
What I've come to understand is that when you're doing the paperwork, when you're doing the motions, and I don't have a lot of motion practice myself, especially standing in court. But when you're doing the paperwork, you definitely want to make sure that the judge/administrator of the case understands that you're going to hold him accountable to the law, to the letter of the law, okay? Right. And that motion in and of itself, your motion, as raggedy as mine was for my first case, as raggedy, right, that is evidence. Move forward at the appeals level, in the appellate court, and judges at the district level and the county level, they are very sincerely afraid of their cases being overturned. But go ahead.
You're in an honest place. Okay, I'm saying that up front because your judge acknowledged, because under law he's supposed to. Okay, I'll tell you an experience with another honest judge. I did a case for my mother. I'm the only one sitting in the audience for her. He understood he couldn't talk to her. Okay, so he spoke to me through her so that I could do her paperwork to help her with her case. 2 people, you and her. Only time I've encountered an honest judge. Every other time I've dealt with the judge in federal court, state court, doesn't matter. They would intentionally disregard or misinterpret whatever they could just to keep. I lost my last case, federal court, because I didn't pay the $400. I brought a case against the county for repeated behavior. Hadn't happened one time. Got case law, everything showing it's wrong. Do you know what the judge did? He decided to interpret my pro per status and say, okay, you're pro per, but you're not paying, so we're going to look at your former pauper status, your fee waiver, and I want you to tell me why this case that you filed previously 4 times before isn't malicious. Now, here's the law that says they can't do what they've been doing. Here's the law right here that says that they knew what they were doing to you was wrong. But I want you to tell me why I should grant you former pauper status, because I think you filing this case is malicious.
Unbelievable.
And so I lost because I didn't address why me filing wasn't malicious.
Unbelievable.
Okay?
Unbelievable.
All right?
I have an exemption from government fees in the group. All you have to do is go in the Iron Sharpens Iron Council group and search fee exemption.
My sister, I'll do that. But every time I file a case, I've been in former paupers.
Yes.
Since 1990, every case I filed was in former paupers.
Yes.
Okay? Now, all of a sudden,
yeah.
they don't want to former paupers. Okay? That's all I was trying to point out to you. Okay?
Yes.
This is what the judges do, or have been doing it.
This was certainly a case of corruption for sure, and abuse of authority, and abuse of judicial discretion. However, I just wanted to, I guess, share the exemption fee statement because, in addition to filing in forma pauperis, see, that's their forms. That's how they box you in. See, they can when you asking mom or dad a question, mom or dad can say yes or no. That's
right.
In forma pauperis. But if you add the fee exemption, as I don't even fill out their forms. I always do my longhand writing, and if they require, quote unquote, require a form, I use their form to just say, see attached.
Attachment, right.
See,
that's right.
Oh, you want your form? You got your form. All you're going to see on there is see attached. That's all that I write on their forms. You can't tell me how to fill it out. I use the form. I met the requirement.
The requirements, right, because you use the form, right?
But you're not going to box me in. So that's what I learned. But you have to come to the understanding or the level of knowledge to know who you are, and you have that authority.
Right.
No man, and definitely no government comes before me or above me. So you want me to use the form? Here you go. Here's your form. See attached.
Right.
And I'm going to be over here in the attachment.
Right. That's right. That's right.
That's what you needed to hit him with, or you could try that.
I'm going to, because I have to file some more cases.
Oh,
I have to file some more cases.
But that's how you get around being in a box from them. Oh, you want a form? Oh, I don't do no IRS forms. I don't do the IRS forms. Who are you to tell me what to do? You can't tell me what to do, and you can't make me. See attached. And you are the expert of your form. You fill it out. You hold the responsibility and the obligation, not me. I'm not filling out any of your forms. You're going to get a letter from me. I'm a woman. I'm a real, living, breathing soul being. I'm not filling out any forms. You can't make me. Every time I fill out a form is when I want to, and if it benefits me, and I know exactly how the story's gonna end.
That's right.
I learned. They like to hold your hand to the fire. You fill out their forms, okay, you are boxed in, and now you got to box your way out.
Yep.
So the only
they have to sign the penalty of perjury too.
Exactly.
They always have to sign under the penalty of perjury. Yeah.
Under penalty of perjury. Really? Okay. Well, if it's that serious, I don't need to be filling this out because we have some explaining to do, and you just gonna have to see the attached. And I filed claims and things like that, state level, county level, federal level form. I've been all over the map with the forms. The only time, and of course you always have to qualify, your signature and stuff like that. I'm not here telling people what to do. I'm telling people what I do. Okay, don't get it twisted. If anybody said to do something, they lied. That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. And I don't tell people what to do. I tell people what I do and what they can do. There's a big difference. So
They have
Hmm?
they have the opportunity.
Yes, I'm presenting you with opportunities. That's it. Don't tell people I told you what to do. In fact, don't tell people anything about me. Let's go there. Don't tell anything about it. Just tell people to join the group. Join the Facebook group. Because Ann don't tell people what to do. I don't do that.
Right.
I'm not a lawyer.
You don't give legal advice.
I'm not a paralegal.
Right.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I don't give legal advice and I don't give medical advice. I don't even give any advice. I just tell people what I do.
But see, now I'm qualified to be a I'm qualified to be a paralegal. I've already spoken with a few lawyers because of my experience.
Mm-hmm.
They've already told me that I'm overqualified to be a paralegal.
Yes, you are. We all are, honestly. Because, you know, as a learned individual doing our civic duty, who are they to be boxing us into a paralegal certification? Who are you? Who are you? You start sounding like an owl. Who?
Yeah. That's right.
So, you know, when you know your power, when you know your authority, you know who you are, these are the things that run across my mind. You know, you can't certify me. The only thing I can be, you know, because I'm an expert on me. And remember, I was telling you, you're only an expert on you. And that's why it's kind of like, let me go off on a little tangent real quick. So we're getting way outside the structure here. But basically, I don't like it. It's a really big pet peeve of mine for when people say, "Oh yeah, she's a guru," talking about me. She's a guru. She's an expert. That's a lie. I never said that. And I don't want y'all to say that. I'm not any of those things. I'm not any of those labels. I'm not even a mentor. I just I've been speaking to a couple of like marketing professionals.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh yeah, you're a mentor, you're a coach," and I still have a problem with that because that have connotations of being above.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, realistically speaking, it's no different than someone just giving you recognition for knowing your field. You know, it doesn't necessarily put you above. It just means that in that particular field, you can consider yourself definitely not at the bottom. You know, you have experience, you have something that you can share versus the individual who just comes into the field and doesn't know anything. They are supposed to keep their mouth shut, you know, unless they're asking questions.
I would say there was one kind of title that I was comfortable with, but it's so few and far between that I forgot what it was. Because I definitely rail against guru and teacher.
Right. Well, you could just be a counselor or a consultant. Realistically,
not even.
Why? No, because see, as a consultant, you go in the door. I mean, whether you accept the title or not, the role of a consultant is they go in the door, they share the information, the people either pick it up or not. If they pick it up, then they consult with the consultant whenever there's an issue. If they decide not to pick it up, then that ends the relationship.
Yeah, like I said, the most learned so-called expert, and I got this phrase from Jacques Fresco. He was a self-taught engineer, biologist, all of these prestigious titles that you would have to have gone to many years of school. He did on his own. And he said, and I would never forget this one phrase in this whole hour-long documentary. He said, and this was Jacques Fresco, he said, the most experienced electrical engineer or electrician, I think is the exact title. the most experienced, world-renowned electrician in 1950 couldn't fix a laptop today.
Right.
Okay? And the point that he was trying to make is that, you know, he too hated, and hated such a strong word, but he hated titles too, because it doesn't mean anything in respect to, with regard to, you know,
technology. If it's no good, if your knowledge doesn't fit with technology, then it's no good.
Yeah, because we're always learning, we're always evolving. So to, you know, accept any kind of title that's, you know,
yeah, but see, I understand where you're coming from.
I can't do it. So that's why I don't like it. I don't like it for myself. But anyway, why did we get on this topic? I don't know. How did we get here? This is what happens anytime I talk to you. Take my whole doggone day and sad you. We just be having way too much fun. People don't even see half of it. It's crazy.
But that's what happens when good minds meet. You know what I'm saying? Your mind stimulates mine stimulates yours.
It's definitely something good happening here, and I love it. I enjoy it, but it takes up my time, and I'm neglecting.
I understand.
Work
but
that
see, you yourself already said we can have other interviews.
Yes, I did.
So you can take this one and you can chop it up however you need to, and then we can have another one where we're more on point to cover the things that were brought up on the other time. So, not a problem.
Yes, because it sounds like you have a lot of other cases that we could talk about.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I've learned in just trying to get to where I am. Mm-hmm. I've had to learn something almost new every day.
Yeah.
Seriously. Almost every single day. Because, okay, simply put, spending 18 years on the bench, you know, away on vacation, you're disconnected, okay? You don't know anything, you don't have anything, and realistically speaking, not too many people want to deal with you, okay? So in order for you to get through just your days, you're going to have to learn something every single day. It doesn't matter what it is, how big or how small. If you don't learn something every day, you're going to pass away. Because there's going to be a situation that comes up that's going to run you over, and instead of you picking it up and recognizing, oh, I didn't know this, let me learn this, let me go ahead and step up to the plate, you'll have the other opposite reaction. Oh, why is this happening to me? Oh, no, I can't deal with it. And it's over. It's over.
It takes a special breed, that's for sure. It takes a special man, a special woman, because it takes so much away from the norm, so to speak, whatever the norm is. And if you don't have that level of commitment, you're gonna get chewed up and chewed out and spit out.
Hear me out for a second. I used to be a cat burglar. Okay, I used to be a cat burglar. And I'm saying that to simply say that if I could do that, I could do anything.
Yes.
Especially if I decided, okay, I don't want no more victims. I'm not doing anything that'll give me a victim. And then move forward and then grow, become strong. Hey,
everything happens for a reason. Everything happened for a reason.
That's it, right there. Okay, so remember me telling you about that story, the two thieves on the crosses. One went to hell, the other one went to heaven. Okay, and in my book, I'm that second one. I didn't go to heaven. I'm still here having to demonstrate that I'm worthy of getting in. I have to demonstrate that the man that I was before, I'm not now. I'm handling my business so that I've got no victims. I've got nobody that can question what I'm doing, what I'm saying, and I'm conquering my enemies with no victim. See, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. See, so that's my faith. That's my faith. That's up there.
You're also conquering yourself with learning law, and you're winning every single time that you do some level of research, you win. And so I just want to leave on that note. We're going to come back and do another one back to back, but I just wanted to kind of end this one because this is already ridiculously long. And I hate long videos. I say like a passion. I don't like long videos.
You can chop this one up, and then you can say, okay, this is for this segment, this is for this segment, this is for this segment, and then we can just start the segment and okay, see, this is what we did last time. So now we're going to bring you guys up to date and focus on this.
Well, this one will just, I can, but that takes time to do even that. So it's just quicker to just let it ride as one long video, and then we'll just come back and do a second one. But I did want to pick up on one of the topics, if you're willing. So, okay, so let's wrap it up, but thank you for that word of encouragement. I'm sure you dropped so many good pieces along the way that I know that somebody out here who is going to hear this is going to really, really be blessed with your story, with your willingness to share. So I thank you. I know it took a minute for you to realize what I was saying.
Yes.
Just tell your story wherever you are on each journey. So I appreciate that, and I'm hoping that that's going to also encourage and inspire other people to come forward with their story. Okay, I'm not a professional interviewer, so don't come for me with that. You didn't ask this. I'm not Oprah. I'm just a regular, fellow student learning, and I just want people to be encouraged and inspired, and most importantly, I want people to be empowered. Take back your power. Don't be quiet. Just say it, speak it, share it. You're going to impact the world. YouTube is global, right? So, and then you could take the video and run with it. You can share it all over, creation, and help to elevate a nation and the movement. So thank you. Let's go ahead and close this one out, guys. I hope that you got something out of it, and I'll see you on next week. Thank you, Smiley, and we'll be back with another one.
All right. Bye.